Welcome to this session of advanced level biology. Today we are starting with a topic called cytology, and this one is normally the first topic to senior fives, the first topic of biology that is taught in senior 5. So today we are going to look at cytology. We shall have very many lessons or sessions, and each session will be continuing from where the other one stopped. So in order to get all these sessions, just click the subscribe button, and after clicking the subscribe button, click on the bell icon that comes so that you can get all notifications, so that if I upload lesson 2, you will be the first to know, like that. So now also share with your friends, and if you have any question in these things which you're going to look at, just write it in the comment section and I shall answer you with time. So now today we are starting cytology. So cytology is also called cell biology. I know in senior 1 you studied about cells, animal cells and plant cells, but here we are going to study it in details. So now, a cell is the basic structure and functional unit of an organism that carries out life processes. So the basic structure and functional unit of an organism that carries out the life processes is the one that we call a cell. And a cell is the smallest, as we are going to see down. So many cells, when they combine, they form tissues, and when tissues combine, they form organ, like that, as you looked in ordinary level. So that is the definition of a cell. So now the study of cells is called the cytology. So cytology is the study of cells. A cell is composed of a protoplasm, and a protoplasm, there they mean a nucleus and cytoplasm, and is surrounded by the cell. So here we are saying that a cell is composed of protoplasm and cytoplasm, and the protoplasm is the one which means the nucleus and cytoplasm. So, and they are surrounded by the cell surface membrane or the plasma membrane, or the one which we call cell membrane. The one that borders outside the cell is called the cell membrane. Now the size of most cells, they range between 10 to 30 micrometer in diameter. So you can see the size of how the cell is. We are saying that it is 10 to 30 micrometer. So now this micrometer, when you compare it, you can find out that it is equal to 10 power negative 6 millions. And 10 power negative 6 millions, it means a very small thing. So the cell is very small. That is what they are meaning. So now we are coming to the factors that determine the size of a cell. What factors determine the size of a cell for it to be big or to be small? So the first one is the capacity of the nucleus to control the rest of the cell. How big is the nucleus to control the rest of the cell? Then the other one is surface area to volume ratio. A cell should be as large as possible to enhance adequate exchange of essential materials. So the surface area to volume ratio of the cells. So that's why you find that some cells, like the ones found in the heart, they can either be bigger or smaller than the ones found in the legs, because they are meant to do different functions. So the surface area to volume ratio also determines the size of the cell. So now we need to know the cell theory. A cell is the basic unit of an organism, implying that an organism is more or less an assembly of many cells. So, since it is the basic unit of an organism, we are made up of more cells at the same time. So now we have organismal theory. It says that the whole organism is a basic unit and cells are just mere subunits. Therefore, the functions of the cells are dictated by the means of the whole organism. So that's what they are saying, that an organism is made up of very many cells, a collection of very many cells. Now when it comes to see the structure of a cell, what are some of the structures that all cells have in common? Now the first thing is the plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane is the one called the cell membrane, and the cell membrane now, it is a barrier between the inside and the outside of a cell. It is a barrier. Then the nucleus, it contains the genetic material of the cell. It is the one found in the center of the cell, as we shall see on the diagram. Then the cytoplasm, it is the fluid that is found within the cell. So all cells, they contain a fluid like medium called the cytoplasm, and it is where enzymes, proteins, and other substances needed by the cells are manufactured or synthesized. So now you can get to know where the enzymes, the proteins, and other substances needed in the cell are manufactured. It is within the cytoplasm of the cell. Then cells contain inclusions, which are the secretions and storage products of the cell. So those are the four basic structural features of all cells that are common on all cells. They are those ones. So now let us come to look at the structure of animal and plant cell as seen under the light microscope. Just as we looked at, you looked at in your O level, that I think this is the diagram which you might have drawn. It may look somehow different, but it is the diagram. So now on this diagram, as we can see, it is a diagram of an animal cell when it is seen under a light microscope. So now you can see the parts. The first one is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. Then the other one is the glycogen granules, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, and the mitochondrion. Also we have the drawing of the plant cell, and on this drawing of the plant cell we can see the parts. So you can pause the video and you draw the diagram very well. You can see the cytoplasm, you can see the starch granules, the cell vacuole, the cell wall, the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the nucleus, the mitochondrion, the tonoplast, the tonoplast. We shall come to look at it later. So those are the structures of the plant and animal cell. Now we have comparison of plant and animal cell. Similarities. What do both have? What similarities do both have? So from those diagrams above, you can easily get the similarities and the differences. So here we are starting from the similarities, and we are saying that both have a nucleus which is membrane bound, and you can check it up there in the diagram. Both have cytoplasm, as we saw. Both have the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. Both have mitochondria. Both contain food storage granules, and in both the cytoplasm is fluid or jelly-like and bathes other cell structures, and both form the basic units of the organism's body. So those are some of the the similarities between the animal and plant cell. So now let us continue and look at the differences between plant and animal cell, and I hope that you might have covered these things in your ordinary level. Now we have a plant cell and animal cell. So now a plant cell has cellulose cell wall. It has cellulose cell wall, but this one it doesn't have a cell wall. So a cell wall is only present in plant cells. Then the plant cell contains chloroplast, which contain chlorophyll that manufacture food, but this one has no chloroplast, as you can see. Also, a plant cell has a large central vacuole filled with cell sap. It has a large cell vacuole. You can see how large it is. The cell vacuole is very, very big. This one is the cell vacuole. So it is big compared to the one for the animal cell that is very small. As you can see, it is only this one. So that is another difference. So the difference is saying that we are saying that it has a large central vacuole filled with cell sap, but here we have normally it lacks vacuoles, but if present they are very small, scattered throughout the cell and temporary. Also, the nucleus is usually peripherally positioned in the plant cell, but in the animal cell the nucleus is mostly found at the center of the cell. The other difference is that the cytoplasm is confined to a periphery, while the cytoplasm in animal cell is throughout the cell. Then number 6, it has a regular shape. The plant cell has a regular shape, but the animal cell has irregular shape. Its shape is not clear. Plant cells are joined to adjacent cells by a middle lamella and little cellulose, but the animal cells they are joined by the intercellular cement, as we saw up in the diagram. Then now a plant cell is generally larger, whereas an animal cell is generally smaller. So when you're asked for these differences, you begin from these major ones. You begin from the major ones. Then that it has a cellulose cell wall, but don't begin from these minor ones that it is generally larger. Those ones they come later. So now here we're going to see what we call ultrastructure of the cell. So now ultrastructure, it means a detailed structure, the detail of a structure now. So those ones they were structures as seen under a light microscope, but now this one is called what we're going to see is the ultrastructure of the cell. And there we are saying that the fine detailed structure of a cell, the fine detailed structure, sorry for disturbance, we are together. The fine detailed structure of the cell as seen under the electronic microscope is known as the ultrastructure. So the ultrastructure is the one that is seen under an electronic microscope, the one that magnifies about 5,000 times. So for it, it can magnify about 500,000 times the object, unless the other lens that magnifies on a smaller basis. So when you look at an animal cell or a plant cell using the electron microscope, that structure which you get is the one that we call an ultrastructure of that cell. So now microscopes magnify specimens. However, the light microscope has a low magnifying power, as you can see. So the light microscope has a low magnifying power and poor resolving power, the ability of a microscope to distinguish between two objects which are very close to each other. You find it cannot easily distinguish them if an object is combined with another or is very close to one another, light microscope cannot easily distinguish. But for the case of electron microscope, it has the ability to magnify it and distinguish it. So now we are continuing that the discovery of an electron microscope which has a high magnifying power and a good resolving power has shown that the cytoplasm is not a featureless soup. There is a high degree of structure organization within a cytoplasm. So when the cell was observed through a light microscope, it shown few parts. But when it was later when the electron microscope was later discovered, and they carried out an experiment on a cell, they found out that within the cytoplasm of a cell, there are other very many parts that are hidden inside. So right now we are going to check on the diagrams on the drawings of ultrastructure of an animal cell and plant cell, and we are starting with animal cell. So now that is the animal cell, as you can see from the drawing. So now from this drawing you have to find out that the cytoplasm, which the other side we saw that it had no features, but here it has very many features which are also inside the cytoplasm. The first one is the glycogen granules. This one we have already seen it. We have the mitochondria, we have the rhizosome, the centrioles, the nucleus, the nuclear membrane, we have the chromatin, we have the pore in the nuclear membrane, we have the cell membrane, the pinocytic vesicle, the vacuole, the zymogen granules in the secretory vessel. So we are seeing other very many parts. Also we are seeing other parts like the ribosome. As you can see the ribosome here, we have the ribosome, we have the endoplasmic reticulum, and more parts. So we are going to look at these parts in details and we see what they contain and their function to the cell. So that is an animal cell. So you can pause the video and then you draw, it has no problem. Then we have the drawing of an ultrastructure of a plant cell. So that's how the plant cell looks like. So the other cytoplasm that was inside, now it has very many parts. We have the Golgi body, the starch granules, the cell wall, the cell membrane, the vesicular membrane, the one that we call the tonoplast. It is the membrane that covers the vacuole, that covers this vacuole. We have the nucleus, the chromatin, the nuclear membrane, the chloroplast, the endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosome, the medulla lamella. So those are some of the parts of a plant cell, of an ultrastructure of a plant cell. So now that's how it is drawn very well. So in this lesson we have come to learn many things. We have seen the cytoplasm, we have seen that cytology is the study of cells. Also we have seen the structure of the cell, the four basic structure features that make up all cells in general. Then we have come to see the structures of cells as seen under a light microscope. Then also we have seen the structure of animal and plant cells as seen under an electron microscope. How it is detailed very much. So thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button and click the bell icon that comes after you have clicked on the subscribe button, so that you can get a notification on any video that I upload on this session. So thanks for watching. In the next video we shall meet and discuss more and more things. So subscribe for more information and please share with your friends and comment if you have any question so that we can get clear answers. Also These notes, they are printed in PDF form. So if you want them, you can also in the box there in the comments, and see how you can send them to me. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.